Good evening. Welcome to this evening. Appreciate everybody being here. Before we get started tonight, we are, just as a point here, we're not just residents supporting this effort tonight. We've got several elected officials here. So at this point, and candidates for office. So at this point, we're going to invite all of them to come up and stand behind us as we announce this tonight. So come on up, and we'll introduce you on stage once you come on up here.
We didn't rehearse this.
Yeah,
Find your F's on the stage, right?
either way. Yep. There's more. We could even scoot more down here if you want. Down here. I think we're good. I think we get a few down there. Okay, I'm going to try to make these introductions without looking at my paper, so we'll see. We got Darryl Robinson from the Jordan School District. Jared Henderson from Herriman City Council. Amy Winder Newton, Salt Lake County Council. No vote, by the way, a no vote on the Salt Lake County Council. And candidate for governor, we have, and I knew I was going to, we just met for the first time tonight. Sheldon Stewart, Council, Riverton City Council. David Alvord, who is former South Jordan mayor, currently, have you announced? Can we announce it? Candidate for Council 2 District, Michael Jensen. Enough said. Yep. Okay, we've got Apollo Pizel, is that how you say it? Copperton Town Council. Okay. We have Mayor Trent Staggs from Riverton. Claude Wells from, he's got me, I got his business card, from Riverton City Council. I knew I was going to forget your name. Okay. Laurie Stringham, running for county council as well for
the at-large.
For at-large with Shireen. Yeah. We have Dee Theodore from running for District 6 against Max Burdick, who was a yes vote. So, Fred Cox, candidate for also for Michael Jensen's seat in District 2. Is that correct? Sherry Orn, Herriman City Council. Stephen Shields, Herriman City Council. And tell me your name.
I'm the tortoise. I'm Cindy Thompson. I'm running for U.S. House of Representatives in District 4.
Thank you for being here. Okay, with that, we'll get started. I want to introduce a couple of introductions on our part introductions. My name is Lauren Palmer. I'm one of the founders of Utah for Responsible Growth. This is Lisa Brown, also one of our founding members. And back here I have Justin Swain. If you guys don't know Justin, he's been a huge voice for this. So real quick, we're going to try to keep this short and sweet tonight. We've got a prepared statement, and then we're going to have Justin make a few remarks, and then we're going to invite one other guest to make a few remarks and a special announcement, and then I'll come back up and we're going to just do a call to action, what are the three things we need. So Utah for Responsible Growth is a nonpartisan resident group with members from across the entire state. Our goal is to see responsible growth preceded by proper regional planning. We are not against development. We are not against high-density development. We support balanced growth that includes all types of housing with proper infrastructure in place. Our arguments and stances are based on proven data and hundreds of hours of research. Good timing. Woo! Good timing. We also support land use decisions being made at the local level. Local level. As those decisions most directly affect those communities. The decision to move forward with the referendum has not been taken lightly by our group. We engaged with the county for over a year, hoping for a different outcome. We provided tours of the area to the county council. We submitted thousands of pages of data, and we met with many of them face to face. Unfortunately, our efforts were not successful. A countywide referendum will take hundreds of volunteers, gathering thousands of signatures, and will cost thousands of dollars. But we feel this is necessary to preserve and protect our community and maintain our quality of life. Utah for Responsible Growth has contracted with VETI. This is VETI right here. This is an app that the tax referendum group used for their referendum. We have contracted with them. We will be using their app for this process. If you are going to help us collect signatures, please download this tonight, and then we will email you. But this is so you can see this is VETI. This will give us all the voter data that we need as we go out and collect signatures. And we appreciate them. We appreciate them. We have also retained an attorney that will guide us as we file the referendum paperwork at this time. At this time, I'm now going to turn the time over to Lisa Brown. She's going to kind of inform us on the referendum process, what this is going to take.
All right, so as Lawrence said, this is going to be actually a really huge project, and for those of you who just did participate in the tax referendum, you know that it comes down to us as individuals to make it happen. And so we are really calling on you tonight, and we are really counting on you to support us, because we've tried to have your back over the last year to get a different outcome, but it's going to take more than that tonight. So for the referendum, just so you know, for a land use referendum, it's twice the number that you need for a regular referendum. Now, I want you to just think about that for a minute. It's going to take us twice the number of registered voters, so we are going to need all hands on deck. We, right now, have a timeline in which we can file. Once we are officially filed, then the county has a window in which they can declare our application sufficient, legal, or not. And after that point, if they do declare it to be legal, then they will have a few days to create us some signature line packets. You might kind of be familiar with what those look like. We actually have to make the copies of the packets. They just provide us the initial, kind of formatting on some of that. So we will need a lot of donations to get all our packets printed, and we are, again, calling upon the citizens here to help us with that. So we can take Venmo, we can PayPal, we can take personal checks. We're all set up to do these things the right way. So as soon as they get us back those pages, it's go time. And it's like from that minute, the clock is ticking, and we have 45 days to get our signatures. One thing to keep in mind for those of you who just did participate with the tax referendum, that you had 2 weeks to get your packets out, signed, and back in. We will only have 7 days, okay? They make this very hard for land use regulations, as you can see. So this is going to be a massive effort, and that's why we are here. We're asking for your support, and I'm pretty sure we can get it, because so far I am so proud of our community, and I just want to give you all my extreme thanks for supporting us this far along, and hope that you will continue to do so.
Okay, at this point, we're going to bring on Justin Swain, and I'm just going to say a quick word about Justin. Justin has been if you've been in any meeting with Justin, including the meeting at Copper Mountain Middle School a couple months ago, Justin was by far the most educated person in that room. He made the county look silly with their decisions. His data and his research is just absolutely been what saved us out here. So we're thankful to Justin. We're going to turn the time over to him. He's going to rally us up a little bit here.
So I'm going to read a statement that I saw today, actually, on the county's website. This is on their About page. This is verbatim. By nature, local government does not make a big splash. That is fine by us. The only splashing we like is at one of our 15 recreation center pools. That's verbatim on Salt Lake County's website. To the best of my knowledge, Salt Lake County is the only county in the entire state that is allowed to approve development of unincorporated land without cooperation of the adjacent cities. And I think that they've proven why that's the case. You know, it's interesting. I had a few county council members last year that met with us personally that expressed frustration over comments made by some of us in the Southwest Valley implying a lack of representation we had out here at a county level. We had 3 great council members that wanted to approach this from an unbiased perspective. The average distance, yeah, absolutely, round of applause for Richard Snellgrove, Amy Winder-Newton, and Steve DeBry, fantastic county council members. I'll point out that those 3 live approximately 13 miles away on average from the Olympia Hills property. Our 6 council members that voted in favor live an average of 22 miles away from the Olympia Hills property. I think that makes it pretty clear why this should not be a county decision. You know, now we have a statement from our mayor today, not surprisingly declining the chance to veto this decision. But there was an interesting statement there proclaiming that we had 2 choices, either Olympia Hills or sprawl. Why we have leadership creating this artificial divide is beyond me. The reality that a leader either, can't see it or can see it and isn't willing to admit that there's a number of so many variations in between A and B, that's what's causing the problem that we have. We were at the table to try to prevent solutions. We wanted to make this work. The reality is we didn't want to fight. We wanted cooperation. But it's this type of statement that turned this into a fight. We presented data. We weren't up there just opposing. We had numbers. We had all kinds of legitimate concerns based on empirical evidence that were largely ignored. And I think that's why we're here today. I don't know about everybody else, but I've about had it with being called a NIMBY. I would challenge the definition of that. Is a NIMBY someone in a community that has data-supported objections around specific components of a development? Or is a NIMBY someone that doesn't care and accepts it because it's not in their backyard? So there's 2 things that we can do to make a change here. The first action that we can take is to address the problem directly. And since our county is unwilling in general to try to make this work at all levels, as a group, we've actually gone to the developer directly and had a positive response thus far in hopes of working something out with this development that will make it a successful community and amenable for everyone. But in the meantime, unfortunately, we have to take action to correct the terrible decision, and we've got to refer this to ballot. The second thing we can do is to look beyond the immediate problem and address the systematic issue, and that's leadership. If leaders won't do what's best for us, then we need to take action and we need to replace them with leaders who will. So with that, we'd like to acknowledge as a group, and myself especially, the support that we've had from a number of local leaders, many of them standing here behind us, and especially from the Southwest Mayors Coalition. All the work that they've put in, the amazing job that they've done. I'm just blown away that the council literally ignored 6 city mayors representing about 250,000 people and just did what they wanted to do and made the assumption that the opinions of 6 individuals living an average of 22 miles away mattered more than the thousands of people concerned about their community. But the Southwest Mayors Coalition really has done an amazing job, and we want to recognize that. And we'd like to turn some time over to Mayor Staggs of Riverton City for a few remarks.
Well, thank you, Justin, and thank all of you. You've really done a magnificent job. This is not easy. We want to get in the trenches and be able to do what we feel is best. I mean, I really, hats off to all the elected officials here, those on the county council particularly that took a stand and voted no, tried to represent actually the people. It's not an easy thing to do, and I just want to point out my wife Alicia that's here tonight. All of us have a support group. Thank you. You know, and it's really that's a critical support group for me. That is the team. You know, and we get out there again trying to represent the best that we can. I decided to run for office initially on our city council, then as mayor in Riverton because I love my community. This is the place that I want to call home. My family and I want to call home for as long as we possibly can. And I think that it's really interesting at a community level. That's where a lot of the change can be affected. That's where it should be. I'm not a career politician. You know, I made a conscious decision to get involved in local politics for that very reason. That it should be. That's the genius of our government. I think that most of those important decisions should be made at this level, at the community level. I think communities lead and politicians follow. And to the point that Justin has made, you're in the process of moving forward on this referendum. That's first point. Second point is to find great representatives or elected officials or candidates that will represent you. You've got several great ones on the stage. You have a few that have actually announced their intent to run in one of the county council districts. And tonight, I'm actually here to announce my candidacy for the office of county mayor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're really going to need your support. Thank you. We're coming up against some pretty big special interests and some entrenched interest groups. Met in the hallway outside, there's somebody here representing Love Communications that does the communications for the developer. They're going to be here. They're going to be looking at what we're doing. I'd ask that we run a very civil campaign. I can't say enough about how civil, how articulate, how well behaved this entire group has been in articulating your position, and as Justin said, often with data, with very sound reasoning behind it. That has to continue. As we move on, this campaign of mine will be focused on the theme that I will be a leader that listens. It is a leadership that listens will be the theme. And I want to focus on three key areas. Smart, responsible growth. Thank you. Empowering communities. And fiscal responsibility. Those are the key issues. That's what I see resonates not just in the Southwest, but in the entirety of Salt Lake County. That's what we need. The first point there on smart growth, that is the big reason why as Southwest Communities we got together to have the Southwest Visioning Study. We need a plan. Growth is okay. We are not opposed to growth. I've said we are the poster children for growth, having accounted for over 70% of all the population growth in this county since 2000. And we have over half of the undeveloped property left. We have a very vested interest in seeing this develop, and we want to ensure that we have proper leadership at the county level that is going to balance that need for affordable housing, available housing, infrastructure, air quality, decreasing traffic and congestion, preserving open space, and finally solving the homelessness issue in our state. We can do it. We can do it. And as mayor in Riverton, I have attempted to lead out on this issue, and again, thank all of my colleagues for the work there. Empowering communities, what does that mean? It means that more decisions should be made at the local level. That is something that the county should be looking to facilitate. They should be convening and working with local cities, empowering them. That's what real leaders do. They empower people around them. And if you take a look at how some of the operations of the county actually function, you have portions of, I've taken, for example, the Zoo Arts and Park, the TRCC. There are millions, hundreds of millions of dollars that are paid from sales tax revenue that go in and are appropriated then at the discretion and complete control of the county. To put it in perspective, if Riverton just had our proportionate share of those sales tax pieces based on our population, we would have over $3.5 million a year that we could program and keep those taxes within our community. We're talking arts, parks, cultural events, potential tourism. We could elect as a city to work with neighboring cities and maybe do something really cool. That's where the freedom of choice and competition really needs to happen, and it can only happen when those decisions are made locally at the local level. Last, fiscal responsibility. I spoke on this. We have somebody here from the county council that actually also voted against the property tax increase last fall. Thank you. I think it's rather significant when we have seen just the general fund in our county go up well over 30%, now almost 40% with this budget in the last 5 or 6 years. And so even in a time of unprecedented economic prosperity, and we have over almost a 25% increase in new property tax revenue to the county and new sales tax revenue, they found the need to still increase our property taxes. And I've talked to so many that are they're fed up with it. Your local government has the opportunity to take this on, and when they do it, you have a much higher level of transparency, of accountability, and stewardship. Again, the principle here I think is sound. You need to have the government closest to the people making those decisions. And I've done just that in Riverton by saving taxpayers millions of dollars, working with our city council on property tax, moving to our own law enforcement that has saved millions and millions of dollars for our residents. We found a way to do it more efficiently and more effectively. And these are the 3 things that I want to be able to carry through the campaign, and with your help, be able to affect that change at the county and take our county back. Thank you.
We appreciate it, Trent. We're excited to support you. At this time, I think right now it's time to put politics aside, whether Republican or Democrat, and vote somebody in that's going to represent our communities out here, and that's going to be Mayor Staggs right now. But also there are some other candidates up here for county council, as I mentioned. Let's emphasize it. You've got Fred Cox, we got Dee Theodore, and Laurie. I'm horrible. I'm so sorry. Laurie and David Albert. You've got more candidates running for the seats that are open on county council. Let's make some changes at the county level right now, this December. So just to wrap things up, we don't want to keep you long. We want to get you out of here. This is kind of our call to action right now. There's 3 things we need for a successful referendum. 1, unfortunately, we need money. Utah for Responsible Growth, we are just residents. We're not politicians. We're not business people. We're not. We need money. to make this happen. We are under the assumption just packets alone will cost us $20,000 to print. The packets could be 100 pages each, and we will need 2,000 packets. So we're looking at just at 20,000 in packets. Above and beyond that, we're going to need access to events to get out to reach the people. So please, if you can, help us. Donate through our Venmo, through PayPal, checks, whatever. We will be good stewards of your money. We'll make sure we're representing you with this referendum. And as Lisa said, we need hundreds of volunteers. This is a county-wide referendum. It will affect us most out here, but we're going to need hundreds of people scattered throughout the valley because we have to get 16% in 5 out of 6 council districts, which is no small task. We've got to get the representatives from Sandy. We've got to get people from Mill Creek, from Murray. Those people have to understand our concerns, and we will help put those out there with messaging. But we need people willing to go knock doors, to go sit in front of businesses, whatever it takes to help us get these signatures. We're going to have 45 days to get about 82,000 to 100,000 signatures. We need your help. It can't be a few of us, 15 of us out there trying to fight for all of us. We need all of us in this together. And again, the last thing, as Mayor Staggs just emphasized, it's time for change at the county level. It's time to bring representatives home here that represent us, and not just us, that hear the whole county, the voice of the whole county. But this area needs to be heard right now. Let's make a change at the county with those who have voted for this proposal this time. So that wraps it up. Anything else that we want to? If you have any questions, we'll be available after. Please sign up to help, sign up to donate, and let's go get this. So we appreciate you being here tonight.